Thanks for tuning into the Daily Space Weather, folks. Happy Easter. I'd like to invite you all to...
I feel reborn. I'm like a phoenix rising from Arizona.
Well, kind of. I want you to rise like a phoenix from Arizona or wherever. Anyway, we're starting out looking at the sun here. It's the 94 angstrom views. One of my favorite. Active region in the northwest setting, no sunspots, and a couple small active regions in the southeast. We are going to look at the LASCO C2 as there has been a coronal mass ejection, not Earth facing. Just wanted to see if we could see it on the LASCO C2, and I'm not so sure. No, not really. And here's the LASCO C3. This might show us something as it was on the far side of the sun, as evidenced by stereo A. We'll show it to you in a moment. By the way, YouTube has updated its terms of service about COVID-19 content. If you are a content creator, have yourself a read. No link provided. It's someplace in the YouTube web ring of maze-like links and programs. We had yesterday's video was demonetized, so we've appealed that. And if they decide to, by manual review, determine that the video is not suitable for most advertisers, we'll set that one to private, just like we've done all the other ones that they limited. So if you're unable to see the videos, they are all on BitChute, an organization that does not censor us in any way, and you can see the number of views is completely disproportional to YouTube, an indication that the content is being completely shadow banned, etc. So there you can see yesterday's video on YouTube only got 127 views. It's the most views we've seen of the past several, at least a week of videos. And that's the one that gets demonetized. So no surprises there. Note the views also. 127 views on YouTube and 192 views on BitChute. The day before that, 463 views on BitChute and 103 on YouTube. Coincidence? I think not. I would also invite you to check us out on Instagram if you haven't done so. You'll see some behind the scenes stuff, and I wanted to share this video with all y'all as a perhaps an Easter laugh.
Pause. So I was watching Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and whatever the other thing is. And it's so popular, it's so good. Anyway, I heard that. I heard it's really good. I heard it's great. I heard it's really good.
Don't touch your face, folks.
Like really good. That's what I heard. That's really good.
Don't touch your face.
But what? I'm not supposed to touch my face. It can kill me. All right, I'm just going to keep watching Tiger King now, and I'm going to be very careful about touching my face.
All right, so just screwing around a little bit. Anyway, let's go out to stereo A here. The view is going to be like this. When we were looking at Soho, the view was like this. So now let's see what the sun looks like from space. Welcome to space, where all your weather comes from. And we see Mercury there sneaking around the backside of the sun from stereo A's perspective, and a coronal mass ejection off to screen left. And we'd like to document these. It's not even done releasing yet, folks, so that's a good one to look at throughout the day. This one is in the ISWA section. Let me just give you a quick tutorial. If you head to the Integrated Space Weather Analysis Center, click on page 7. This is what it'll look like from the home view. You're in the Solar tab. Click on number 7, Stereo A, Core 2. Click on Movie. And I always do 100 frames at 20 frames per second. And there you have it. And let's move on here, as there's lots of stuff to talk about and more videos to be made. Now I made some custom movies here. First we're going to look at the fields. There's the 171 angstroms view of the local yellow dwarf. Here's the magnetogram, and you can see those active regions down there in the southeast. And here's the 304 angstroms. We see a little bit of filamentary activity, and that's what our movies consist of. Let's look at 171 first. And I totally forgot to download these, folks. I apologize. Please bear with me as we are streaming live onto Twitch. I'll just download that one too while I'm doing that. We apologize for this temporary aside. Alright, I'm going to play the 171 angstroms one. There you go. Put that on loop so you can see what's going on with that setting active region, which is not a sunspot. But it was sunspot 2759. So a great view in 171 angstroms that we always see when active regions are setting along the limb. Let's close that one out. And check out the 304 angstroms version of the same exact area. And there's that view. Great views of those helium filaments swirling around there. In fact, let me get off the screen so you can see them. I included the solar North Pole there also, as it was in close enough proximity that we may catch some crown prominences up there and so on. By the way, if you see a prominence coming out of the solar pole, that is an aspect of solar maximum, an indication of solar activity. And man, we got some great swirling filaments there. And there is a cosmology segment coming up. This is what it was doing yesterday. I guess I'll play that for you. This is yesterday. So another bit of ionized iron splashing down onto the chromosphere there. That did not produce any coronal mass ejections. And let's move on here, show you the full disk view of 304 angstroms. This is a 48-hour image, folks. And the date stamps should come through there. So there's the last 2 days in ionized helium. And we'll let that play through one more time there for you. Courtesy of the SDO, the Solar Dynamics Observatory. And let's get back to data. KP index is at 2. 10.7 centimeter radial flux is at 71 solar flux units. Here's where stuff is. Stuff. Here's where things will be in a week. And got some very spooky banana-shaped shapes forming here. Please leave a comment if you know about how sheep's bladders may be employed to prevent earthquakes. And I'm hearing some very odd noises outside. I don't know if it's geese or what the heck it is, but it's freaking me out. Alright, so here's where stuff is above my head. I like to use in-the-sky.org. Great sky charts available there. It's 518. Do you know where your Deneb is? Yeah, I don't know what's going on outside the smAsho bunker. I think there may be some sort of animal sexual behavior or fights going on. I think it's probably cat sex, or it could be red fox sex. We get the sound of, sounding like, the sound of somebody being brutally murdered outside, which is what a red fox sounds like when it's doing its thing. Next, looking at the GOES X-ray flux here, we don't see any flares, and no really surprise there. And no proton increases particularly. Nothing to really... And by the way, most of the solar wind is made of protons, the same way as most of cosmic rays are likely made of protons, are indeed made of protons. Next, we're looking at the real-time solar wind here, and we had a bit of a coronal hole magnetic connection there over that period. And we saw a bunch of big earthquakes, including a 5+ magnitude in California and a 6+ magnitude, as well as a massive volcanic uptick over the past 3 days, seeing stratospheric level volcanic eruptions out of at least 2 sources that I can verify. Solar wind density finally dropping down. It looks like we're going to see a very extended, in my opinion, an extended coronal hole wind stream coming in here, as this density took a really long time to drop back down, and the speed has taken a really long time to ramp up. So while this might be ending right now, as you can see, it's getting a little more diffuse here at the end. We don't see a dip in the temperature or anything like that. So the coronal hole wind stream is still on, and it's hitting right now. It's just not very fast. Current solar wind speed around, I don't know, 430 kilometers a second. Here's the data from ACE. There's the most recent. And we see the BTBZ shifting around still. It might be converging here if you see the BZ raising back up toward the 0 line, which is the red line in the top pane. That could be an indication of the end of the coronal hole wind stream. We won't get into it too in depth here, as there's too many things to cover. So here's the geospace magnetosphere movie that seems so popular, as this contains more effective math on modeling what's really going on in the magnetosphere. And it's a little oblong here, but nothing too exciting. We see significant ground magnetic perturbations, mainly over the Canadian North Pole and the geomagnetic South Pole, which is, by the way, out here somewhere, not on the Antarctic continent and nowhere near the geographic South Pole. GOES magnetometers are continuing to look sawtoothed and spiky, and you can see these sawtooth lines here, and that's all associated with the current sheet, which is currently, pun intended, completely red, charged up by the south solar polar field. This GONG2 data of the top view ecliptic plane field plot is nearly 2 hours old, and keep in mind the magnetic environment can change with absolutely no warning. Sunspots can pop up and vanish faster than you could say protons. Next, we'll look at the line of sight field plot, which shows you the B field, and there's not really anything going on with that. Relativistic electrons have failed to go back up. No surprise there, as this is what we see during a coronal hole wind stream, especially around solar minimum. And you can see the GOES electron flux has cratered as we forecasted yesterday. Next, we'll look at the ionosphere, and I haven't looked at this one myself yet, so please bear with me as I drink Cabernet Sauvignon at whatever time it is, 5:23 a.m. Cheers. Anyway, there's 6 hours of the ionosphere, and it is quite discharged on the nighttime side, otherwise looking fairly normal. As we are into spring here in the northern hemisphere, are you enjoying your fall in the southern and your spring in the northern? Please leave a comment. Next, let's let this advance on windy.com, looking at the GFS forecast of pressure maps. We'll let this go until about tomorrow at noon my time. And if you're wondering where I'm located, I'm in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. Please do not attempt to infiltrate the smash bunker, as you'll have better luck and survivability in robbing a bank. And there's where we expect pressure to be tomorrow. Windy.com also has a great mobile app. Perhaps check that out. And let's get to earthquakes, as we see upticks all around. We see a 5+ in Greece, a 5.0 in Greece, that is. Here's a deep quake of Papua New Guinea, a deep quake in Argentina, and a 5.2 magnitude quake in Bodie, California. Please leave a comment if you felt that quake. Shout out to Smash Staff's mom, who lives near Tahoe. Let us know if you felt that one, as that's probably on the other side of some mountains from you, and I doubt you felt it. Anyway, let's get back to the list, as there are a ton of quakes having popped off in the past 24. Here's a deep one in Alaska. It's of small magnitude. Have you painted yourself up like an Easter egg today, folks? I got the Easter egg style hat. I got the pink shirt. And I'm going to be even more pastel in future videos. Another deep quake in Alaska. We did see a 6.1, I believe it was. I'll get to it when we get to it. Just scrolling up the list here. And here's an extremely shallow quake at Bodie, California. Check it out. It's at 200 meters above sea level. There's a location of that one. Doesn't look particularly like a volcano, but I'm not going to break out the topographical map and get real technical about it because, again, lots of things to cover. Probably too many. And I have no idea where I was on the list now. Pardon my scrolling. There we are. And there's a deep quake at Colombia. As we've been seeing deep quakes all from northern South America down to west central South America over the past months. Here's an Indonesian deep quake of 4.5 magnitude at 102 kilometers. So lots of quakes, a bit of a earthquake uptick, and certainly a volcanic uptick. Let's talk about climate forcing. Are you aware that volcanoes make the planet colder? Yes. It's not just through injecting stratospheric level ash clouds. It's also through carbonyl sulfide, a global cooling gas that causes clouds to nucleate. So along with cosmic ray flux, carbonyl sulfide works in unison with cosmic ray flux. The good news is that carbonyl sulfide increases the methylsulfonyl methane that falls out of clouds. That's MSM, methylsulfonyl methane. So on one hand, carbonyl sulfide makes the planet cooler. On the other hand, carbonyl sulfide makes the planet greener. It's even involved with the human sulfur cycle, folks. So it's a weird double-edged sword that you get there with volcanic eruptions, and we've seen at least 2 in the past 3 days. Both Shivaluch and Anak Krakatau have had stratospheric level eruptions apparently. And let's get to the volcanic list. Krakatau still exploding, producing a 10,000 foot ash plume. So a downtick there at Krakatau. Semeru, looks like an uptick at Semeru. It's producing a 13,000 foot ash plume. Tokono exploding as well, 7,000 feet above sea level flight level there. Popocatépetl exploding, 22,000 foot plume there. Sangay exploding, flight level 20,000. Revenador, flight level 15,000. Sabancaya, flight level 27,000. That's an uptick, I think. And Nevados de Chilean exploding. Please don't pole vault the 17,000 foot ash plume. But if you can, you may break some records. And the cosmology segment today is coming. We're going to try to produce 2 of them. And we've been running into all kinds of, shall we say, roadblocks. Please leave a comment if you've seen a roadblock. Please let us know all of your COVIDiot stories in the comments below the video. We'll make a whole COVIDiot section, perhaps, on smashomash.com/forum. And if you haven't been there yet, check it out. We've got a whole section on the liquid metallic hydrogen solar model with tons and tons of papers, including this one, 40 lines of evidence for condensed matter, the sun on trial. Liquid metallic hydrogen as a solar building block. Most people don't know about it. Hey there, howdy, be stoic. I did not do mag density. I don't even know what that means. And let's start talking about COVID-19. Oh yeah, it's the coronavirus section. Have you been to smashomash.org? Well, if not, welcome to the Neo-Renaissance, as we assist, study, and report on the ongoing formation of a unified theory of physics. If you haven't been there yet, well, you can link to the forum just by going to there, or you can just type in smashomash.com/forum. forum. In there is a very large compendium of information, everything from nutrition talk to a large section about coronavirus, which we started all the way back on January 23rd. We haven't politicized it, we haven't talked any nonsense, and we haven't really been wrong about very much of anything. What we have done is created a massive timeline of the way media's been covering it and people's opinions. So you're free to post there, and let me just give you another hint about how to use smAsho.com/forum. Maybe you're not accustomed to web forums. Let me share a hint with you. If you come down to the bottom of any thread page, you can click subscribe to this topic. And if you click subscribe to the topic, you will get email updates every time somebody updates that topic thread. So states are restricting Easter gatherings. Please leave a comment if you've got concerns about the constitutionality of things, the Federal Emergency Management Act, what your state's doing, all of that sort of stuff. One way to rise like a phoenix from the ashes of propaganda is to spend some time outdoors, which is crucial to your health, even during a pandemic. It's not just the vitamin D, there's all kinds of health benefits to being outdoors. So if you're a shut-in, or if you're viewing the video from a bunker, as we're broadcasting right now, please leave a comment and let us know what's going on. And North Korea calls for tougher virus curbs, but leader wears no mask. And basically what this is Reuters, I believe. Yeah, this is Reuters trying to spin a story suggesting that Kim Jong-un is an idiot because he doesn't wear a mask. And you're going to see a lot of stories spun in such a way that you'll go, goodness graciousness, is this propaganda? Are a lot of organizations attempting to
expiate
their guilt? The reason that you're being disallowed from doing things, folks, has nothing to do with keeping you safe. The reason that you're being disallowed to do stuff is to avoid litigation. Whether it's a government, or it's a business, or it's a non-governmental organization like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. All of those organizations are attempting to not get sued. This is why you are not allowed to do certain things. They're trying to avoid litigation. So all of these organizations have quite a tightrope walk to do. And I'm not going to say anything else, except one of the things you can do when you're shut in is you can listen to our original music. It's all linked below the videos. So perhaps we've got some weird tracks on the SoundCloud account. Perhaps listen to this one by a drunken idiot.
Yes, this is Al Gore, and no matter how many lawyers I get and how much I cry and complain about all kinds of chads, I will get elected and take your free right to bear arms away.
Now, not everybody has drunken idiots leaving voicemails for us, but some of us are good enough to have drunken idiots and a music label known as Golden Cat Productions. If you want to hear the more produced stuff, such as the intro to this video, which is called Unified Theory 3, produced in about 2000, I think the year 2000, possibly 2001. Here's a tidbit. Anyway, there's 15 tracks on there. You can stream them for free. Professor Krookenstein, Dr. Steelshank is on the chart in instrumental rock subgenre at number 48. Perhaps have a listen. And you can even download that track for 99 cents. Next, we'll look at jet streams. There's the east. Lots of oddities in the jet stream. Here's the west. Extreme meridional jet stream flow, and it looks like you're going to hear stories about how Greenland is melting. Greenland is melting. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. By the way, Greenland melts every summer and spring. I don't know if you were aware. A tiny, tiny portion of it. It had snow 9 feet or more coast to coast all summer last year. I don't know if you're aware of that either. Are you familiar with the term albedo effect? Never mind. Let's look at the water vapor maps of Africa and Europe. The albedo effect is light bouncing back into space because of things like snow and ice on the planet. Here's the water vapor maps for Oceania and the Far East. Here's a lightning map for the US, and lightning is striking, getting people to get their Easter baskets early in places like Waco. Shout out Waco, there's thunder rolling in. And lightningmaps.org will allow you to scare the crap out of people and forecast thunder. Yeah, that's right. We like predictive phenomenon here at smashomash.org, whether we're in the bunker or not. We got some heavy snow here across northwestern Kansas, and Nebraska, and northern Colorado and Rockies, and some heavy storms there in places like Arkansas and Texas. Here's a U.S. water vapor map. Let me blow that up. And we're going to zoom in on the Arkansas-Oklahoma border, as there's a series of dry, wet air convergences happening there, indicating huge pressure gradients. And I think there may be a phoenix rising from the ashes of covidiacy. Covidiacy. Please leave a comment if you know what covidiacy is. Again, tell us all about your covidiacy stories. We're very interested in covidiacy. Perhaps put it in the insanity files at smashomash.com/forum. Tell your friends, tell your foes, tell your neutrals, so even the least informed idiot knows. And hey, Smash team, thanks for tuning in to the Smash stream. We streamed it live, and we've been streaming all of our content live lately at twitch.tv/smashomash. If you didn't know, well, cheers. Stay tuned for some bonus features, and we've got a few, including the fact that Patreon and Subscribestar are completely free throughout the month of April. So throughout the month of April, all of our posts are going to be public. This is our idea of a fundraising drive, as there's not a lot else we can do right now. So please consider supporting the channel via Patreon or Subscribestar. We're also on PayPal, and we'll be becoming a non-profit agency in the near future. So look for that. Next, we're going to look at cosmic rays, another bonus feature for you here. Here is the cosmic ray scenario at Apatity and Barentsburg. Nothing to write home about there. Let's see if Athens is back to sending data yet. And happy Easter to Greece. Hopefully you didn't get hit too hard in that 5 magnitude earthquake. They're not sending data. Let's check out Mexico City. They are sending data. There you go. There's the past 30 days of Mexico City. Moscow's not sending data. Oh, that is toast. And here's Oulu, Finland. And there's DOMC, Antarctica. We always link to the network of cosmic ray stations below our daily space weather videos to encourage folks to monitor them yourselves. Don't take our word for it. Next, we're going to look at the transients of the core of the Milky Way galaxy. There you go. There are the X-ray emissions from Sagittarius A star, which, by the way, have been ramping up over the past few years, but in a pretty normal range here over the past few days, which is this lower left pane. Next, we're going to look at the Vela pulsar, yes, located out near the Crab Nebula from a galactic scale. There are the transients from the Vela pulsar. Nothing to write home about there either. And lastly, we're going to look at Cygnus X3, otherwise known as Deneb, celestial pole star, the star that ancients built a whole bunch of monolithic sites to point at. Deneb is also the brightest intrinsic object visible from Earth. So while it's not the brightest star, it is the brightest object. It's a massive X-ray binary where a massive radio source is orbiting what's called a Wolf-Rayet star, which is a blue supergiant, a star that is so hot and so bright and so huge that it would be about the size of Mars's orbit if it were in our solar system, and its stellar wind is about 10 times the speed and density of the sun's. There's a huge ionized disk that rotates around it, also associated with the massive radio source, which appears to be siphoning plasma off of the surface of that object. And one of the jets of that massive radio source is pointed directly at Earth, and that's why this is an actual point source for cosmic ray flux. I don't know if you're aware, but it seems like every time I say this to somebody, they are more confused than people who think that stars are electric. And Deneb is still in its fairly normal range here. 0.03 translates to right there on the multi-year graph. So it's not in an excessive state yet, just closer to its nominal state, which is more like 3.5. So it's pretty close to its normal state here, and we'll be interested to see if this goes back up to 0.06, which would be, way up here on this graph. Hopefully that helped anybody who doesn't understand what these are. These are X-ray emissions of lots and lots and lots of massive objects that are well known, and hundreds of them. So you can track your favorite X-ray source. Perhaps it's quasar. Oh, it's a BL Lacatte, or I forget what it is. I thought that's a quasar, but anyway, it's a type of active galactic nucleus, I think. So check out the Neil Gorell Swift Observatory if you've never seen that before, and monitor your favorite transients. And we still see no sunspots associated with these active regions down here or anyplace else, as it is a sunspot-free Easter. And I've just unplugged my keyboard. Let me get that plug back in. I apologize for the technical difficulties, folks. I didn't plan to trip over a wire this morning, but I did anyway. Please leave a comment if you've seen some politicians stepping on rakes. Anyway, there's the colorized magnetogram. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for leaving comments. Be stoic. Again, if you want to see the streams live before they're even produced or uploaded anywhere, watch them live at twitch.tv/smAsho. And happy Easter, folks. Please rise like a phoenix from the ashes of propaganda, BS, ignorance, and nonsense. And let's look at one more view here. How about the 131 angstroms? It's got that nice aqua blue color. Isn't that sweet? Remember, stare at the sun, attempt to understand the physics, wait for us to upload another video or possibly 2 cosmology segments today, which I'll start producing as this one is done uploading. Don't drink. Actually, drink. Drink wine. It's Easter. We're drinking Barefoot Cabernet Sauvignon, and followed by a Barefoot sweet red wine blend for tonight's, dessert wine. So let us know in the comments what your wine selection includes. May the solar wind be at your back, and since it'll never be now again, I have to vanish. And may that cardiovascular disease be absent from your health profile.